When the Snyder Cut gets released and then Zack comes back to finish his Snyderverse, this is what's going to happen. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. This of the 6-part Snyderverse series. It's going to be my favorite, I think. Episode 4, we're going to dive into, let's say, the Snyder Cut gets released. It's going to get released. And then Zack comes back to finish what he started in the first place. What's going to happen after that? What is going to happen when Zack gets to finish his vision? Firstly, Zack gets to finish his arc, and we finally have closure. We finally have Zack's 5-story arc. Similar to Nolan's trilogy, we have this epic grand scale Man of Steel, BVS, JL1, JL2, JL3. It's finished. All the characters, now you can do whatever you want with them. But as far as Zack's vision, his Snyderverse, it's complete. Everyone's happy. We finally have closure. 2 is more actors are going to be willing to come back and work for Warner Brothers and WB. Because now they see, oh, you know what? They gave Zack his Snyderverse back. They let him finish his movie. Wow, that was a really cool thing that they did. Now, if not, they're going to be like, no, I want to stay away from that studio. I don't want them, especially directors, I don't want them to mess with my shit. So you're keeping away these possibly great directors for your movies because they don't want to work for you because they know you're going to mess with their shit. Same as actors. As an example, Ben Affleck. When Ben had to come back and do the reshoots, his heart was not in it. And you can tell that in the movie. Because he was doing this for Zack. He wanted to be a part of Zack's work. And then Joss Whedon came in, and Ben was like, I don't want to do this. And it was a half-ass portrayal of Batman. You can tell. Watch BVS and then watch Justice League, and tell me there's no difference. Because there is. Clearly there's a difference. And you know Ben was killing it in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I can't wait to see it. And finally, WB can prove they are a director-driven studio. They can say, okay, maybe not before. Now look what we did. We made a mistake, but we brought Zack back to let him finish what he started. How great is that? We stand by that message. A director-driven studio. They definitely were in the past, but now that's their big thing. Okay, well, prove it to us. Get Zack back, and then we can say, okay, maybe you are. Maybe you are turning the corner. I don't know. But until then, you're not. But when you do, people are going to start to see, okay, maybe they are. Maybe they are true to their word. Superman finally gets his beginning, middle, and end. We never had that in the Superman series with Lester and Donner, because again, it was all over the place. But with this, we could finally get Zack's true vision, Zack's true Superman story from start to finish, from Man of Steel to Justice League 3, all the way through. Don't kid yourself. Zack Snyderverse is a Superman story. It is a Superman 5-film arc. Don't kid yourself, because it all started with Man of Steel. He is the beacon of hope. He is the glue that sticks this team together. He's the reason this team came about. So it's all about Superman throughout this story. And then finally we can say, okay, we got the Snyder Cut. We get JL2. We get JL3. And we can all be happy. We can all rise in the sun together with Superman. Fans of the darker material, the darker movies, the Nolan trilogy, Zack Snyder's work, even fans of Logan, now we are not alienated. We will come back to the DCEU. We will come back to watch more Warner Brother pictures. This is the big one. You are a studio that needs to make money to survive. When you are not thinking about the hardcore fans, you're trying to appease the critics, a small minority of people who write reviews on movies. You're trying to appease them, and then you have this other group, if you want to call the general audience, that you will. The hardcore fans, the ones that go back 5 to 10 times, that buy 6 different DVDs, get all their friends to go watch the movies time and time and time again. You are not worried about them, and now you're missing out on money. That is the issue. And I know this for a fact because, again, I'm surrounded by people on Twitter who are hardcore fans. And I'm a hardcore fan. But when it comes to DC properties, I always find myself going to watch them because I'm obsessed with them. I love DC content. But as these other hardcore fans that are Snyder fans to the core, They are like, no, we're not watching any more movies until we get the Snyder Cut. Once you release that, your numbers will go way back up. And again, you'll bring all these fans back in. You make everyone happy. People can be like, oh, Ben Affleck is Batman again. That's awesome. Oh, okay. Well, if you weren't a big Ben Affleck Batman fan, well, we got this little project over here with Robert Pattinson. So if you want to watch that, watch that. Oh, we got this little DC Dark Label thing. You know, they had Joker. They're probably going to have more movies coming out. They have this over here. And then you can have your movies on the outside, your Shazams, your Birds of Prey. Everyone is happy. Everyone wins. And people are going to be more willing to watch all those other movies because they're back in the inner circle. Well, you know what? WB gave us what we wanted. I'm going to go see Birds of Prey now. I'm going to go see that Black Adam movie now. This is the money that they're missing out on because they have forgotten about the hardcore fans. This is an interesting one, but Man of Steel and BVS, through time, they become more meaningful. And Zack's films have always had this on me, and I know a lot of other people too, is the fact that they age like fine wine. As you get older, you find out more and more things, and you notice, and these films, they just age so well. But again, the example I always use, because it's just the easiest, is I think of Martian Manhunter. Let's say that we just got Justice League and that was it. That's the end. Nothing. No Snyder Cut. Zack doesn't come back. Nothing. We don't hear anything about his version. The end. You never know that General Swanwick is Martian Manhunter. And that's just one of the examples of all these other things that are going to come out when Zack gets to finish his vision. All these other things that now Man of Steel, BVS, oh, that's why that happened, or this one. You know what I mean? Another one, and it's probably nothing, but I feel like it has to mean something. At the end of BVS, when Man of Steel dies, and they're doing the funeral, I guess, in New York City, and you see, I think, 4 or 5 planes fly off, but then one tails off at the end in a different direction. Now, apparently that's something for troops, I think they do. I forget what it's called, but I always heard the theory that that was Hal Jordan, that was Green Lantern. Maybe it could have been. Maybe there could be a scene in Justice League 2 or something where it's a flashback and it shows Hal Jordan in that plane flying off in a different direction for God knows what reason. I don't know. But then it's like, oh shit, that was, you know what I mean? Like all these little Easter eggs that are going to pop up that we didn't know about, that we will know about when Zack can finish his vision. Last thing with this is all of those characters can still spin off and do their own movies. When this whole vision is done, you can still do your Aquaman 2, Aquaman 3 if you want. You can have another Wonder Woman movie if you want. That's fine. Do as many Flash movies as you want. Do Cyborg. Do Green Lantern. Do all that. You're having all these spin-offs anyway. Black Adam, Shazam. Do all that. This is just a small part within the DCEU. Okay? If you're talking Marvel, Marvel so far has like 20-some movies that they've put out that are all connected somehow, some way. These are just 5 movies, okay? Then you have all these other movies that you can just take and run with and do whatever you want. And I believe it's too late now, but something I heard was the fact that at the end of Zack's vision, they were going to have a Flashpoint movie. And that was going to like change some things up. That would have been perfect. That way you could have had Ben's Batman die, and then, oh, Robert Pattinson's Batman can now be in the DCEU. Because there's something to do with Flashpoint. Boom. Or the multiverse. Whatever you want to do. If you want to recast a new Superman after 5 movies, Henry Cavill's done. Boom. There's your opportunity. It would have been perfect. And it still can. But these are my thoughts on if we get what we wanted. If we get the full Snyderverse, this is what's going to happen. These are some of the examples. So anyway, guys, I hope you like what you saw. And that's the video. And thanks for watching. And please subscribe because it helps me in return. I can help you. And as always, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, new content's coming to you from Subject Reviews. And thank you for watching.